Yeah. Yeah.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Stardom Review, a now weekly show where we review the amazing women's wrestling promotion known as Stardom. I am your host, Melball. That is your host, Andre, over there. Andre, how are we doing today?
I am doing wonderfully because I got to watch this past whole weekend was just full of professional wrestling for you and me. Just watching Stardom, watching New Japan, and now we're getting in that. And I watched more this morning, more New Japan this morning when I woke up, and I got more to watch after I'm done. But I watched on Saturday. I watched both of these shows from the Gold Rush show. I watched the tag matches, and I watched the Wonder of Stardom title. And I also got to watch the tag league matches from the November 23rd show, which were all these matches were absolutely phenomenal. I am just in love with professional wrestling right now.
What a time to be a fan, hey? And like with these women, as we were talking kind of before we went on here, their matches are just so exciting, so interesting, and just so fun to watch. Let's get into it, Andre. Let's give the fans what they want.
And we got the Goddess of Stardom tag team tournament going on right now. So we are going to get, excuse me, I apologize. I'm just trying to redo my windows. We're going to get into the November 19th show, which was from the Gold Rush show, which was the day before it started crossover. It's just there was only 2 tag matches on that show, so we figured we'd hold it till we reviewed the November 23rd show. Mm-hmm. And so the first of the tag team matches, of the Goddess Tournament tag team matches on the show was Starlight Kid and Momo Watanabe, Black Desire, taking on Saki Kashima and Fukin Death from Oedo Tai. They are collectively known as We Love Tokyo Sports. This match was, to me, very, very fun in watching these two Oedo Tai teams fight each other. And, each one kind of cheat on each other, do cheat moves on each other, which was really funny because, you had Saki and Fuki going after them with the papers off the top, which was just humorous as hell.
Yes, I have to agree. That was actually one things that I bolded on my notes. This match was fun. This match was funny. There was one point where Momo and Starlight Kid had Saki up almost like a bridge, and Fukikin was just walking under, dad, and then eye poking people. It was really funny. I had so much fun with this match, and they clearly did too. This was almost like we've looked forward to Bullet Club meetings in the past. This was almost like a fun version of a Bullet Club meeting without too many House of Torture shenanigans. I felt that the changes were appropriate and it made sense and it was fun.
Yeah, I thought they were using the newspapers, and then you have Moma at one point goes to hit Saki with the bat, but ends up hitting her partner in Starlight Kid. So it was those things where you see these girls just trying to screw each other over while still being friends, being associated in the same team. So I really thought quite an interesting dynamic. But in the end, Starlight Kid got the stretch muchler on Fukikin Death with the paper, but Momo pulls Fuki off, and then so they could hit a dragon screw and reapplied the stretch muffler, and then added the head scissors to it, and and did it to Saki, and Saki had no choice to tap out. There was no shot, and I think Momo was holding Fuki back at the time too. So I thought really good overall match, and Black Desire finally picking up another win in this tournament.
And that stretch muffler, I just love that move. That is just an effective, good submission there.
Well, just the stretch muffler, and then to put an arm or a leg triangle on the neck at the same time is some crazy flexibility from Starlight Kid, and then crazy flexibility from whoever she's putting the move onto. 100%. So yeah. And then after the match, they all pose together. They're all good. They're all in a tie. They're all still chill with each other. So I thought that, yeah. And then we move on to the other match. we're going to move on to the other match in the Goddess of Stardom Tournament from the November 19th show, and that is Miami taking on, for the first time we've gotten to review it, because I don't even think we reviewed them on the last Stardom show we reviewed, 7-Up. I don't think they were on that entire show. We did like 3 shows, I think, and yeah, they weren't even on any of it. So 7-Up, we haven't seen them in a while, but man, this match just power teams, simply power teams here. Like Miami is a power team. Like you have the samurai and then the giant woman, the jumbo princess that is Himeka, and then you have them going up against Nane and you, who are big ladies themselves, and just them all running into each other and all trying to exert their power on each other. Where I think 7-Up did slightly get the power advantage, slightly, but not by a lot. Like not by a lot though.
I mean, how awesome is this for Micah to come off of the historic crossover show where she went head to head?
Well, technically, this is the day before the crossover show.
Right?
Technically.
I mean, but we saw it afterwards. But still,
Yeah.
like the strength that we know Micah has after that, again, going toe-to-toe with the ace, Tanahashi, she even got hit in the face a number of times by him. Still came back strong against him. This was an incredible, as you mentioned, power match. The opening between Micah and you, where they were just trying so hard and struggling so hard to just get that one up on each other, pun intended. Although I would have to say, as much as I love Micah, she is my girl crush in Stardom. The choice to go chop for chop against you was not a simple one. And this seems to be one that these women keep making the same mistake over and over and over again. You don't chop this woman. Just don't. Don't open that can of worms.
No, because you're going up against you, who's got these like literally gunshot like chops. Every time she hits you, like they ring out, and you're just like, oh, you feel so bad for whoever she's hitting, because it's just constantly like, because it's just
affects your heartbeat like that. Like. That's got to be terrible for your heart. Something that I kind of had this realization was a light bulb moment in the match. Nane Takahashi is like the Liu Kang of Stardom for me. She is powerful. She is super smart, super educated, super knowledgeable in that ring. But she is loud as heck also, and I love it. At first, I wasn't too keen on it. But now all I envision when she is making all this noise is Liu Kang doing a bicycle kick. And like, it makes perfect sense. I'm really starting to love Nane and love the work that she's doing. The backdrop on Himeka, by Himeka to the head of Nane. I was like,
dude, she dropped her on her head.
Yeah, I thought she was definitely spiked on that one. But Micah and Himeka ever able to get you on a suplex. Very, very impressive, but unable to capitalize as you catches them. The speed of you is just incredible. She takes the suplex, gets up, and follows up with a crossbody on both of these women.
Well, and they literally dropped her on her head in that suplex too. And the fact that she was up and then hit that running cross to both of them, I'm literally looking at that in my notes right now. I'm like, when they dropped her on her head, I'm like, oh, is she okay? And then she was right back up. I'm like, oh, she's fine.
But at the end of these, I was actually very, very surprised. Oh, wait a minute. There's one more note I wanted to say. The superplex by Nane on Micah, followed by Micah suplexing Nane, while Himeka powerbombed them both. That just... the power that all 4 of these women just had was absolutely incredible. But I have written down that the match ended with Micah pinning Nane in a jackknife style.
Micah got hit like a spinning Michinoku style driver move, and then her and Nane actually rolled around and traded a couple pinfalls before Micah got the jackknife cover and got the win. So and then I got to shout out the cannonball from you. Every goddamn time I see this woman work, that cannonball, I think it's the main factor why I go, oh, because she's a big girl. And no shame, big guy. I'm not shaming, but dude, when you're a big person like that and you smash into a corner with a cannonball like that, no matter what, that's going to hurt that person, like, just brutally. Like, look at Colton Kelly. We see him do it all the time here in Alberta. He's a big boy smashing in to a lot smaller people a lot of the time, and like, damn, like that, just crushing somebody in the corner like that it looks so good. But yeah, and then after the match, Nane just kind of attacked Micah. It just wouldn't stop because she was just pissed that she got jackknifed on there.
Yeah.
So yeah,
yeah, I did note that 7-Up sore losers, and I'm starting to notice a trend in that. They're kind of sore losers, obviously, because they know how powerful they are, and they know that they should be winning these matches, but they're also sore winners. So I'm trying to figure. You guys,
I think they're just angry individuals. I think they're just angry individuals. Simple as that. That's what it is.
So mad.
So a quick point breakdown after these two matches. You have Aphrodite with 8, Mafia Bella with 6, Meltier with 4. This is all in the Red Goddess. Karate Brave and Black Desire with 3 points. Peach Rock and We Love Tokyo Sports with 2 points. And My Fair Lady with 0. In the Blue Goddess division, you have BMI 2000 on top with 8. My Hemi with 6. FWC with 4. 7-Up with 3. New Eras with 3. Wingori, Waka Wild, and Oats Line all with 2. So yeah, you have, again, not a huge shift in the point change today because, again, only 2 matches happened. So before we move on to the November 23rd show, I want to highlight a couple of the matches from the Goldust show that I did get to watch. I did get to watch this one. I didn't get a chance. I haven't got a chance to watch the world title match or the TLC match. I watched the 2 prelim matches for the Moneyball tournament, but this match was absolutely phenomenal. Kyrie, who I found out was working on a sprained ankle through this weekend. That was this show and at the November 20th show the day after. She went 30 minutes with Saya Kamatani in a 30-minute draw. And an absolute, like, this match was 30 minutes. I watched it. It felt like 15. Like, it was one of those shows where you don't even notice the time. Like, it didn't feel like a 30-minute. It felt, when it was over at 30, I didn't even feel like 50. I felt like maybe 15 minutes had passed. It was one of those kind of matches where there was so much and it was so enthralling that it doesn't feel like it takes that much of your time. And I absolutely like encourage anybody to go out and watch this one. It was absolutely phenomenal. And then you have sorry, go ahead.
No, it just really does speak to the wrestlers and their ability to entertain and to wrestle that the match did not feel like it was as long as it has. Because you and I have both been in matches, or not been in matches, but watched matches where you're like, this has to end, and it's
why is this 40 minutes long? Or why is this 25 minutes long? What the hell? And it feels but this was not it. And then from all reports, again, I haven't gotten to watch this match yet. Just life has been busy. Wrestling has been so much of it. Suri versus Utami Hayashishita. A lot of people are saying this is one of the best matches of this year. And they're saying that, like, this is in one of their top matches together. So, like, I gotta have to go back and watch it because I loved some of the matches they had last year and earlier this year. I want to see this so badly because it sounds so good. And again, just timing has not let me watch it yet, but it's. And then the main event of the show was the the Moneyball tournament finals. So you had Donald Amanda taking on Natsupoi, Tam and Waka earlier on in the night, and Donna Demunda winning. And then you had Stars defeating the team of Amy Saray, Mirai, and I can't remember their partner's name.
Tomoaka
Naba. Oh, yeah, it's Tomoaka Naba from Karate Brave. I should realize that. But again, and they so Stars won movie, and they ended up with a TLC match in the final. I haven't gotten to see it fully through. I've only watched about the first few minutes of it. But I know of a highlight that I did see on Twitter and hearing on another show. The money ball fell down. It was literally a ball of money that was hung out of the Ultimate X or a title. It fell. So it fell out of the Ultimate X way back in the day. So, but again, I've heard it was still a really good match between these 6 women, and I can't wait to finish the match. I absolutely love Donna Demondo. I'm a big fan of that team. So I highly encourage everybody to check out this Gold Rush show. Everything overall was really good. I saw the early stuff. Really good show. So I highly recommend anybody if you're really check it out, especially those two title matches. It is a great show overall. But we're going to move on to
those shows out in the description box below at Stardom World, and you can, again, we'll put it down there for you. You can go check it out.
There you go. And then we are going to move on to the November 23rd show. And you have the first match of the night is FWC, Hazuki, and Koguma taking on Wingori of Hanan and one of my favorites of all time, Saida. And there was one spot here where they hit dual shoulder blocks, and they both, Hanan and Ida, did the gorilla chest thing. I was like, yes, I loved it so much. I thought really, really fun match overall, and they gave a good bit to Ida and Hanan in this, giving them both a great time to shine, especially going up against someone like Hazuki, who is this insanely fast worker, and Koguma again, same thing, very fast worker. And then they are both teams from Stars, which I like seeing again, and it's another interfactional fight. And they did, was it Hanan and Koguma did the bear dance off the hop together, but then Hanan tries to take the cheap shot and do a drop kick. So,
but Koguma definitely knew that was coming. She sidestepped it very quickly and easily.
Yeah, and then and the finish of the match, Hazuki gets Hanan in the crossface and turns it into a Rings of Saturn, and Hanan does have to submit in the end. And absolutely phenomenal opener for this show.
Yeah, the only thing that I would add to that is that the show of sportsmanship was so refreshing to see. We did sort of see it with Oedo Tai doing their poses after the match, but the show before and after the match was just something that I really liked. And by the sounds of it, the crowd really, really appreciated also. Crowd finally being allowed to cheer again, or at least I noticed them cheering a lot for this show. Yeah,
it's really on and off what shows are cheering, what shows are not. You can see it in New Japan also. We'll highlight that in a couple of the shows we've watched. We'll be reviewing on Friday, because I will be pointing out some booing on one of those shows. But it's great to hear the crowd really get behind both these teams in this one. So
100%.
Yeah. So we're going to move on to the next match of the evening, and this is my pick for the November 23rd show. And it's O2 line. It's the team of Azumi and Miyu. What's her last name? Amasaki. I just don't have it written here for some weird ass reason. Miyu Amasaki and versus Maika and Himeka, who we just talked about from the other show. Again, Maika and Himeka, just a pure power team, and the power dominance they showed in this match, for sure. The single leg crab that Himeka put on Miyu, and it was Maika's ragdolling AZM on the edge, just holding, just throw, just doing this back and forth with AZM on the outside. But Miyu did get the ropes, but just so much good stuff. And then Azumi hitting that rocket kick and then gets the drop kicks off the ropes. And then Miyu comes in with that pendulum DDT. Great sequence. Absolutely great sequence. I think all these women are absolutely phenomenal. Mai Hemi did get this great spot where they did a forever clotheslines to both opponents in the corner, where they just close them back, close it, and it went a few times. So I'm like, this is literally the forever clotheslines, and I was just yes. It made me so happy to see that. And then they did the double shoulder blocks, nicking them down. It was just so good. Azumi getting a Rings of Saturn on Maika, but Maika just using her power to just pull herself over to the ropes, just showing the real power in it. Enziguri and dropkick in the corner combo, Enziguri from the outside, dropkick in the ring from O2 line, and Azumi gets the frog splash for a pin, but Himeka did break it up, and she clotheslines the crap out of both O2 line, just double clothesline, just putting them both down. And said Mai Hemi hit the sandwich clotheslines, but AZM gets a La Mystica, but Maika ends up reversing it into a jackknife again and getting the win. So Micah's jackknife is almost becoming her new finisher here, in my opinion.
It really does seem that way. And when she finally does get her regular finish off, I mean, it's going to be such a pop for the crowd. But that jackknife has been very, very lucrative for her in this tournament. As you mentioned, I don't have much to add. I mean, these girls, Micah and Hemika, powered the hell out of O2 line. O2 line, I feel, is kind of like the smaller, high speed kind of team in this tournament. I was disappointed that they didn't pick up this win, but also not surprising. I mean, you're going against my Hemi, and Micah and Hemika have been doing very, very well this tournament, working very, very well together. Very, very happy with that.
And I think at this point, you're looking at teams. I think O2 line, a win or not, they're not in it. They're mathematically out. There's only a couple matches left for a lot of these teams, and O2 line, even with wins, even if they win here and won throughout the rest, I don't think they could have even pointed properly to get a win due to other losses. Yeah, O2 line with only 2 points. BMI was already at 8, and it just didn't work. And I can see why they're putting my Hemi there, because my Hemi got the win here to put them at 8 points. So it ties them for first at this point in the night. So, yeah, I think you're looking at my Hemi as a very possible winner of this block.
100%.
So we move on into the Red Goddess division. You have my fair ladies taking on Black Desire. Again, I absolutely had a fun time watching this match. Again, I have really been turned around on Black Desire and in a way to tie in all throughout this tag tournament, because yes, they have been using cheating. A lot of the OA ties still cheat, but the way they're using their cheating is quite inventive, and it's not everything they do like another faction that we tend to hate for cheating.
It's everything is evil faction.
No, it's just they do a lot of really fun. They're really good in-ring quality that some of the wrestlers as part of House Torture are. The cheating is not the only thing they're about. They have so much more to them, and this match was so much fun because my fair lady, who again are sitting with 0 points, they just seem like they're desperate to get a win. But again, this match was not going to be it, because at the end, Black Desire hits what I almost thought was an assisted end of days style move, because they had the feet up on Asuka, and she lifts up the feet and then swings them down, and it came down almost like an end of a reverse end of days into more of a sidewalk slam. And it's just a sidewalk slam is more or less.
I wrote that down too. I was like, I was confused with the crossover there. Yeah.
and then Momo hits the Dude Buster. I can't remember what she calls it, because I know it's not the peach one. It's another move, but she hits essentially the Dude Buster and gets the win. And sadly for my fair lady, they still haven't been able to point at all in this tournament.
Mm-hmm. That disappoints me. I like being able to see the teams at least have one win in each tournament kind of thing. I feel like my fair lady is starting to run out of people that they could potentially win to. That being said, if they do get 2 points, who are they going to get it against, and who are they really going to piss off?
What I was thinking is going up into the final couple nights coming up here soon. They could possibly play spoiler to a top tag team in the end. They could really, if they get a win at the end and upset a team that's in contention, they could be playing spoiler, which I do like to see sometimes. Those eliminated teams, you got to have. There's always going to be eliminated people and teams. Mm-hmm. I like seeing them play spoiler in these kind of tournaments. So.
Yeah, we usually see it more in the individual tournaments, like the G1 and stuff like that. This is very interesting, and I like I said, I would like to see them at least get at least 1 point, maybe get to a time limit draw or something. The one thing that I want to add that I absolutely loved about this match was the jump start at the beginning. It's usually the way to tie doing the jump starting, but my Sakurai and Lady C hitting the ring and tacking Black Desire before they'd even disrobed. I actually love that. I thought it was very smart for them. And I think it's just a show of the evolution of the two of them working together.
Yeah, and I'm the kind of person, I skip a lot of the entrances, so I was like fast forwarding to the point, and like I showed them getting in the ring, so I clicked ahead about another 30 seconds, and there's already fighting. I'm like, whoa, and I have to back it up. I'm like, whoa, I missed something here. Because usually, because again, the entrances, and then there's usually like 2 minutes of like ring announcer intro, so I try to skip to that so I can get to the match, and
yeah,
boy, did I mess up there. So what the heck was that? All right, we're going to move on to back to the Blue Goddess division, where we have Waka Wild and 7-Up again. Yes, I've become a very big fan of the 7-Up team. Again, I was not a fan of Nane before this because I wasn't really interested in watching her in her singles matches. But you put her in this tag team with you, I think she becomes a lot more interesting because you got that playoff of you and the team she's working with. But this match was, holy crap. Waka getting the shit kicked out of her. Like, she start to finish. Like, Saki was in this a bit, but, like, Waka was in it for 90% of it and just kept getting beat the hell down.
This one's a hard one for me because I'm like you. I'm very much so on the 7-Up train.
You're like you?
Really, really. Yeah. No. Not anymore. But yeah, I used to I'm very big on the 7-Up right now. But this match, I almost looked at it and went, guys, she's new. Like, come on, that way you didn't have to wreck her day as much as you wrecked her day. Like, she needed to be taught. Obviously, every time that Waka's getting into the ring at this point in her career is a learning experience. Hell, anyone who gets into the ring at any point in their career, it's a learning experience. But Waka, I felt that this was a bit much. I felt it was too much, to the point where, like, I feel Saki carrying her out of the ring afterwards was more than appropriate because she probably needed it. There were points where Waka took a bump and she came back up, and I'm like, there are no lights in that.
Yeah. So just at the end of the match, you hit a huge spinning sidewalk slam on Waka. Mm-hmm. You then shotgun drop kicked her into the corner, then hit her with a cannonball to get a pin, but that was broken up by Saki. Saki should have just sacrificed Waka at that point. So this is where you
at the TV, stop breaking the pins, just let her fall.
So this is where you picks up Waka into a power bomb, then lifts her up into the last ride style, like straight up, and smashes her. Like I've seen power bombs, but she wrecked her into the mat, and then just puts her knee right. Yeah, and then just puts her knee right on the chest and like kneels on her to get the pin. So that's another just that knee just being pushed right into the solar plexus. I can't feel good. And you gets the pin and the win, and 7-Up gets 2 more points. Just in a pure dominant style match, just destroying Waka. And yeah, Saki literally put her on her back in piggyback style and walked her and carried her to the back.
Mm-hmm. And I wouldn't be surprised if Waka was unconscious at that point. Like, she didn't even try to kick out at the end. There would have been no point. Very, very dominant in this match. I don't think that Nane got a lot of ring time in comparison, just like Waka got most of the time as opposed to Saki. What I did like, though, was that both Saki and you at the beginning there, I don't know if you kind of felt that kind of tension between the two of them, both of them coming out double champions from other companies. So having that gold kind of dripped around them, I definitely felt that both of them were kind of like, I got 2 belts too.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah.
But this match was, I don't know how to.
It was a beating.
Yeah, because it was just essentially a beatdown. It was like watching who's that local guy who usually gets beat down here? High Flyer, Jack. It'll come
I don't know.
to
There's a lot of people in this town that get beat up a lot. Like I know Irish gets beat up a lot. Yeah. So we're gonna move on to the next match of the evening. It is in the Red Goddess division. It is the Goddess of Stardom Tag Team Champions, Meltier, taking on the team of Natsuko and Tam Nakano, taking on We Love Tokyo Sports, Saki Kashima, and Fuiken Death. Again, I love the entrance from Tom and Nat in this. Like, just so beautifully done. They always do. I remember showing it to a friend of mine. I showed an entrance at one point to not this one, but another one from these two to one of my friends at work, and she's a cosplayer and gets and I didn't even send it because she's not a wrestling fan. I just showed her for the entrance, and she was absolutely blown away by the costuming and the choreography that these women do. And I am blown away every time they do one of these kind of entrances. And then they're lip syncing to it, they're dancing to it. It just looks so beautiful in the way they do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I have to agree. It is one of my favorite things. I don't usually skip through the entrances of these girls. No. These are the girls I always have to watch.
I always watch the entrance for Melty.
But to have their magazine this time with their picture and Tai Chi on it when they were at the historic crossover show. I love
I'm calling this match the battle of the physical media.
The cover girls.
Well, it was literally Melty with their magazines, and then We Love Tokyo Sports with their newspapers, and it was just the battle of the newspaper versus the magazines throughout the match. Mm-hmm. Like it was but again, they were fighting like We Love Tokyo Sports. They stole the magazines from Tam, and then it was just there was a double team magazine shot. It's just funny, and it was just some funny stuff. But then there was some great stuff like Fuiken putting Nat in the camel clutch and then making her read the magazine, and like Nat's just like so excited to read about herself in the magazine.
Was it Nat or was it Tam?
I have it written as Nat. Oh, was it Tam? I have it written as Nat.
It was Tam, because she said something to the crowd, and the crowd reacted, and that was when she bonked her on the head.
Oh, sorry. I wrote Nat in there for some reason. I just probably brain fart on that. But it was. Oh no! Sorry, I was looking at notes, but that was where Fuiken's reading the magazine and does the senton onto Natsuko.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, that's right. But there was a spot where Fuiken just had the camel clutch on Tam, and she's reading the magazine, and like Tam's just like so happy to read it. It was just absolutely cute spot.
I have to agree. Were you doing the same thing that I was at points of the match when they were actually like sword fighting? With the things making lightsaber noises, because that's what I was doing.
I did, and as a Star Wars fan, I did not. I was just enjoying the crap that they were having a magazine and newspaper battle.
We'll have to turn that into a reel for Instagram or something. The one spot that I really appreciated with Fukiken, actually, besides the newspaper spots that she's so much known for. She deviated from her regular speech. She's kind of almost like Groot. She always says the same, death, Fukiken, death. We got a brainbuster death in this match, and I popped for that.
Yeah, we did. And there were some great spot, Mm-hmm. At the end, Tam Nakano did hit a backdrop on Fukiken Death and not hit the Ferial Gift Splash for the pin and the win, which is the almost like a half corkscrew, just moonsault, I want to call it.
Sparkle splash.
Sparkle, like Alexa was a sparkle splash, but she calls it the Ferial Gift Splash, and she gets the pin and the win. And afterwards, Tam and Nat took the newspaper from Saki and Fuki, and like wouldn't give them back, and they're fighting over it. And Saki gets, I think one of them got the magazine and like ripped it up, and then you could see, and like, or both magazines got ripped up, and like Tam and Nat are like collecting the papers afterwards to like save their magazine. It was cute. It was a cute finish.
Did you see the part where the ref picked up the small little piece when they're sitting there triumphant and hands it to them, and they're just like, why?
Yeah, that was funny.
The perfect end.
Yeah. And then you have Karate Brave versus Peatrock in the Red Goddess division. It's within the Red Goddess division next. Legitimately, I skipped ahead. It took 6.5 minutes before this match started, from the start of the video to when all the entrances and everything done. And again, there was more of the karate showing for like their karate. Let's show off our moves at the start of the match. Again, I look at that and I'm like, okay, that's fine, but it's not as impressive as seeing these girls with the perfect choreography and things like that.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Like again, if I've done a karate class, I did karate class when a kid. You all do like your punches together and your things together as you train. So it's not like it's something impressive in a sense. But yeah, again, they do that stupid hammer, like the hammers down onto the back are fine. It's when they karate chop them in the back.
They look a little funny, yeah.
I will say though, that whole sequence is better than Chaos's "I'm gonna club you in the back."
I agree.
And I will shit on that again on Friday when we talk about them again. But yeah, again, I can't stand that sequence. It bothers me so much. The end of the match come.
Fake.
Yeah, the end of the match came. Siri German's Mayu Otani. And Karate Brave do the double suplex onto Momo. The double kicks to Momo, and Inaba hits it's just like a running kick. The one shot, one kill Tomawaka kick. It gets the win. So Karate Brave is picking up the win over Peatrock here.
Yeah. I don't have a lot to Koji. My goodness, Kojima wants to say hi right now. I don't have a lot to add to this match except for that double kick at the end that they did where they sandwich.
The sandwich kick, yeah. Oh.
I felt that. Like, I felt my breathing get affected negatively by that. The look on Momo's face after she took that kick, and then Inaba follows up with her kick. I was like, yo, she's good. She's breathing. She doesn't need the CPR right now, guys. Yeah, I actually felt that this was actually the match for Karate Brave. Oddly enough, that I enjoyed the most out of them so far in this tournament. And I feel that had a large part to do with Mayu and Momo.
Yeah.
The team of Peatrock is just such a very well-rounded team that I feel that they brought out the absolute best in Karate Brave to make them look the best possible.
I think both teams flowed and like had such a chemistry in this match.
Mm-hmm.
So we're moving on to one more match in the Red Goddess division, and that is Mel's favorite team of Aphrodite, which is Utami Hayashishita, and the current Wonder of Stardom champions, Saida, taking on Mafia Bellas, my favorite, Giulia, and becoming one of my favorites, Thekla. Yeah, this match, I am a big fan of all four women in this, but again, this match I think was just where I was in the show. I was a little bit of burnout so far in the show. I think this one just kind of dipped for me. I think I was just losing a bit of my interest. I thought I was on my phone a little more while I was watching this and taking notes, which picked back up for the main event. But yeah, like again, a really good match. Like Giulia getting a really great rocket kick to Saya, and then an inverted DDT to Tommy, and then a neck breaker to Saya. A great flow of sequence there. And Thekla applying the octopus stretch to Tommy. But Tommy running Thekla into the corner looked like, oh, damn. And it's just some of there was like really good stuff in this match. But like Tommy with her beautiful sidewalk slam, and then immediately hits an air raid crash onto Giulia again. Onto Thekla, but Giulia get the breakup on that one. But yeah. Mm-hmm. In the end, Tommy and Saya hit the magic killer. Shout out to, I'm going to say Evil and Togo this time.
Why?
Because I know it would make you mad again. And Tommy puts Thekla on her shoulders, but Thekla ends up rolling her up with a leg roll clutch. And Thekla essentially stole the win here. Mm-hmm. Like, it was and it was very surprised. This is where I was like, oh, this like the ending really surprised me because they hit the magic killer. I'm like, oh, nice magic killer. So we're gonna get I thinking, oh, Saya's gonna hit that her Firebird splash again. But then the roll up happened, and I'm like, whoa, I did not expect that at all. So yeah, again, I thought really surprising finish for this match.
Mm-hmm. I have to agree. I thought that the two people involved in the finish were going to be involved in the finish, but I honestly thought that the result was going to be the opposite.
Yeah, especially with Thekla pinning Utami.
Who's just coming off of a world title match. Like,
but that's
wow.
Again, that's a big plus for Thekla though. Like she has now a win over the last world champion before Suri. So that's a big plus in her books.
Yeah. The only thing that I want to mention in this match was the chain wrestling by Utami and Giulia at the very beginning of this match was
I
very,
had that written
very
down. Yeah.
perfect. Yeah, perfect way to start the match. It kept it very slow. It was almost like that gradual roller coaster climb. And then when we got to the top was when Kamitani and Thekla came in, and it was boom, immediate change of pace. That high speed division came out, and it was just perfect. It flowed into the rest of the match.
Yeah, it really did.
This whole thing was a showcase for all four.
Like, I'll say this again. This is again. I'm not shitting on the match. I enjoyed this match, but again, it's just at a point where it was also like 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning when I'm watching this match because I got up at like 6 to start watching all the wrestling I had to watch on Saturday.
Yeah, we watched the entire weekend of wrestling.
We really, and then Sunday was a lot of wrestling too. And then today, Monday, as we're recording this, I still have more wrestling to watch that we're going to be reviewing on Wednesday. That's going to come out on Friday. So lots of professional wrestling. But yeah, like and again, it was a good flow of a match because like they started the chain and they picked up in the high speed, then they came back down a bit into some work rate, and then ramped up to the ending, and then bam, like Sekla's win out of nowhere. I thought a great flow to the match. I think if it's for me personally, I think I was a little burned at that point because I've been watching so much. So yeah. Same. And then we're gonna move on to the main event of the evening, which is Mel's pick. It is the New Eras. It's Amy Saray and Mirai taking on BMI's 2000 Tora, not Natsuko Tora and Ruaka.
What a match this was. Another powerhouse match. New Era is coming in with a vengeance. These girls, especially Ami Sourei, just winning the Future of Stardom championship. So she's got that beautiful belt now. Loving Ami's gear now. I've always liked her gear with the color of the emerald green and that royal purple. It projects a very regal kind of royalness about her. But the new gear that she has, where they have the like nice little feather tassels, I just love it. She's looking absolutely amazing. BMI 2000, man, just coming in like the wrecking balls they always do. Super dominant in this match. Fantastic showing for Ruaka in this match. I've always been a fan of hers from the time I started watching. I knew she was very, very good. She just keeps getting better and better and better. And I just want to shout out her hair color right now. It's like a magenta color, kind of matches our screens there for the Rogue Energy. It looks so good on her. And then
and in contrast, she was wearing her orange gear, right?
Yeah, the orange and purple. Yeah.
So it was the color of the magenta, like against the orange. Really, like I really like the way her hair, like the color of her hair stood up. Again, we're talking about hair in a wrestling match, but again, it's presentation. Like I find if you present yourself with the right look, you get me interested so much more.
100%. That's what a well-rounded wrestler can give you. Is not just great professional wrestling, but the good look that goes along with it that keeps you hooked on it. You know, if you're
very much so.
This is a bad example because I love Kevin Knight, but Kevin Knight, he's very plain. He kind of has that young lion thing. Again, not a good example because
just wait until we talk about the November 28th show there, Mel.
We can't cross over. This is not the historic crossover.
Just wait till we do the November 28th show. You'll be turning around your opinions on how way Kevin on the gear of Kevin Knight. I will tell you that for sure.
No, I have on Gabe Kidd's gear. I have some opinions on, which are pretty much the same. But
you will turn around on Kevin Knight's gear when you come to that show. Trust me.
We'll see.
Trust
he still looks like a young lion, but he doesn't wrestle like one, and that's the important part.
But yeah, back to Stardom.
Back to the women. Natsuko Tora just freaking dominant. Like this woman has come back from that torn ACL with an absolute vengeance, and she is taking no names. She is taking everybody out. Super dominant, super powerful in this match. There's one point, I can't remember what submission Mirai had on Ruaka, but there's one point where it was a Kimura. Yeah,
her submission is every time she puts a submission on, it's a Kimura. It's the arm behind the back being twisted behind the back.
Behind the back. Yeah, the Miramare, is that what she calls it when she locks?
I think it's a Miramare, but again, technically known as a Kimura or key lock. Yeah.
it messes up your arm.
Yeah, pretty much. It's Brock Lesnar's go-to submission too in WWE.
So Mirai's got that Ruaka in that, and at one point the ref was distracted. I want to say it was another Oedo Tai member distracting the ref, but I'm not entirely.
I'm not sure.
But Tora gets in there with her pipe and just feeds it to Mirai's back. At that point in time of the match, I thought that was the call of the match. That this was the. I thought the New Eras were going to take it, and then I thought after that point, BMI was going to take this match, just because that cheating aspect is usually what does end up helping them a lot to win this match. It was surprising to me that, pleasantly surprising, I might add, that Mirai ended up catching Ruaka in her Miramari submission that we mentioned to end this match. But I want to mention one move before that where Mirai tricked Ruaka into pretty much falling on her face. That is just Ruaka.
It looked almost awkward when she fell, in a sense, because she like came down almost like it was like a drop toe hold trip kind of deal, but it almost like she like her legs got kicked out from under her and she went bam. Like it looked almost awkward in the fall. Yeah,
I was very concerned, but Ruaka's such a great worker. She played it very well. It went into the move very well. I really, really enjoyed this match. Obviously, it was my favorite. The only other thing I would mention in this match was there was one point where the New Eras flipped Ruaka off the top rope onto Tora to almost do a senton on her own.
Yeah, that was the first time, because BMI has been hitting their like tree slam and FU thing, and then both going up to the top. And that was where Tora missed the swanton, and then Mariah and Amy like flipped Ruaka off the top before she get her splash off. Mm-hmm. And yeah, like that was the first time we had seen that move, not that sequence not be successful. Mm-hmm. And then again at the end of the match, Ruaka tried for the tree slam, and she only got a 2. Then she goes to the top and missed her splash, and that's when Mariah put the Mirame, whatever it's called, the Kimura Miramai, and got the submission in the middle of the ring. And this was like, we talked about how BMI was, even in their disqualification loss in their first match, were insanely dominant, and then have just had dominant performances ever since. And then now a team finally like figuring them out and being able to overcome that power and put them down with a submission, I think was absolutely phenomenal.
100%. This was an incredible match. Again, my pick of the night. Love these girls.
So I'm going to go over the points one more time after the November 23rd show. Red Goddess division, you have Mafia Bella on top with 8. Mafia Bella and Aphrodite on top with 8 points. You have Meltier alone with 6. Then you have Black Desire and Karate Brave with 5 points apiece. Then you have Peach Rock and We Love Tokyo Sports with 2 points each. And sadly, My Fair Lady in last place in the division with 0 points. Again, in my opinion, Peach Rock, We Love Tokyo Sports, and My Fair Lady mathematically eliminated, and Black Desire and Karate Brave need some incredible wins themselves and losses from their opponents to get a win in this one. So that one's going to be tough for those two teams. And then in the Blue Goddess division, you have BMI 2000 and My Hemi both on top with 8 points. You get FWC with 6 points, 7 Up, and the New Eras with 5 points each. You have Wingor, and then you have Wingori, Waka Wild, and O2 Line all in last place together with 2 points. Again, those 3 teams are essentially eliminated. The New Eras and 7 Up, again, need some lucky math and losses and wins of themselves and losses for their opponents to possibly win this division. But yeah, like again, there's still a few teams in each division that have a shot at winning this tournament.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'm excited to see how it kind of goes because I don't want to see 7-Up wreck any more people's days.
Yeah. And again, the final night, and even though on the final night, there's still going to be tournament matches. And then the finals will be right after of the Red and Blue Goddess division winners. facing off in the main event of that show, which it's going to be tough for whoever is the later in the tournament. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. The same thing, we saw the same thing with 5-Star Grand Prix though. It's the same format.
That's true. How incredible is it that these women can wrestle multiple times in the night? Like,
because after the last show we did, Aphrodite wrestled twice in one night.
Yeah.
Which was screwed up to me because neither team, Peach Rock or Aphrodite, worked on any of the first 3 shows. So, yeah.
Tomato with Stardom, eh?
Yeah, and well, before that, I've got a lot of energy right now, and a lot of my energy is given when I don't have it is given to me by Rogue Energy when I really, really need it. You can scan the QR code down in the bottom right corner where Mel was pointing. Use the code OLEPODS for 10% off your order. So I'm going to thank them very much for sponsoring us and the rest of the Our Local Establishment group, which you can find Our Local Establishment on Twitch at twitch.tv/OurLocalEstablishment or on Instagram at OLE Podcasts. And then one more big shout out to our boy Mike the Ref from Backbreaker Media up there. I'm not pointing at my shirt, I'm pointing actually at the Backbreaker Video logo in the top corner. You got Backbreaker Video and Backbreaker Media. Check Backbreaker Video out on YouTube at youtube.com/Backbreaker Video. You can check Mike out on Twitch multiple times a week. He streams he does wrestling watch-alongs every Wednesday for the AEW Dynamite show, which you can find at twitch.tv/MikeTheRef. And he's always on there playing video games and chatting with everybody and having a great time. This comes out on the final, I think the last day of his Jack.org fundraiser. So please go and donate. It helps to help young people have access to the right things to help them with their mental health. So please go check that out. Don't be part of the problem, be part of the solution, as Mike always says. So you check that out. That link will be in below. And if he gets the $1,500, he's already doing his Just Dance stream. But if you get him to $1,500, he's gonna do it in a panda suit. So come on, we want to see that.
We want to see that dancing panda, sir. Make it happen. And Andre, if we are going on social media, how are we going to find you?
You can find me on Twitter at That Cannon Guy, Instagram at That Cannon Dude, on Facebook under Andre Como, and you can message through our fan page, Andre and Melball Wrestling Talk. You can get a hold of me through there too.
Perfect. And if you're wanting to get a hold of this Melball here, you can find me at Collins Melball on Twitter. You can find me on Instagram at Melball Collins, as well on Facebook at Melball Collins. And if you're wanting to take in some Stardom Wrestling, as we mentioned earlier in the video, I will leave the link to it in the description box below. It's 920 yen, approximately $10 Canadian. Might be a little less if you're American, because you're lucky. But again, we will leave that link in the description box below. And Andre, if you don't have anything else to share with our lovely people, I'm all good. Melball. That is Andre on the side there. We will see you next time. Adios.